and welcome to Top of Mind with Ann and Rachel. My name is Rachel Prophet. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a white woman with long red hair that's pulled back in a ponytail today. I'm wearing a red, white, and blue plaid shirt, and I've got on my rose-colored glasses, and I am in my office, as usual, with my epic sticker wall behind me. Ann, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Ann Krupke. I'm a senior fast track solution architect at Microsoft. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a white woman with brown hair that's in a bun today. I'm wearing some over-the-ear headphones and a blue t-shirt. And I've got a big painting that I have not looked too closely at behind me. I don't know what's happening.
Coming to us live from a hotel room.
Fair enough.
Well, and we've got a very special guest today, Heather. Heather, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. My name is Heather Cook. Been Newman for a long time, moving to Cook. My pronouns are she and her. I am a white woman with hair that needs I need a highlight on this blonde and brown hair of mine here soon. I've got a blue t-shirt on. I've got a flower in my hair, and I've got a bunch of accoutrements behind me, a little bit of flair, and all of that, a blue Doctor Who curtain as well. And I am a principal PM manager for Power Platform and Dynamics 365 community evangelism and events in the business applications and platforms division of Microsoft. There you go.
I feel like we could add a couple more lines to your title for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I didn't say
the general coordinator of everything.
But I am exciting news, I think.
Yeah.
But I am officially a principal fast track solution architect here at Microsoft, so I was promoted.
Congratulations.
Hey, congrats. Yeah, that's well deserved and awesome. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, Heather, the way this show works is we just say, so Heather, what's top of mind for you?
Oh, well, Rachel and Ann, let me tell you what's top of mind for me. Good. We're I think in the thralls of heading back into event season, as it were, after summertime, which I feel like summertime had a lot of revenge travel, like everybody kind of post-COVID was like, I'm going, and I'm not only going, I'm going to faraway places. I'm going for weeks at a time, and my phone is shut off, so I feel like we've got, people back in the saddle, as it were, kids going back to school, all of that. So I think all eyes on sort of the next couple of months, and the train has definitely left the station. I've been working with you two, both of you do, on the Power Platform Conference coming up in Las Vegas, the first week of October. Thank you for your partnership. I love working with both of you so much. So it's been awesome talking about Dynamics 365 content at that event, because that was a new thing this year for that event. So that's top of mind for me. And looking at the road to Ignite, I know we've got the 365 Educon coming up in Chicago. There's Community Summit in North Carolina. There,
lots and lots of events.
Yeah, lots
Heather,
of
so what's your number one thing you are most excited for at Power Platform Conference coming up?
Oh my goodness.
Choose your favorite child right now.
I know. I was like, that's so hard. Honestly, I love an in-person conference. It's an in-person conference only. It's not virtual. It's just getting back together with everybody. It's just seeing everyone and saying hello and hanging out for a week. That to me, that's it. Seeing our community and getting to connect with everybody and do that thing. It's like what happens in the hallways, when you're walking to stuff and hanging out, even like
chat.
Yeah, a moment in the bathroom, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, what's up?
I really hope that we have a moment in the bathroom at MTPC. we should get a link up on the screen for people who maybe aren't registered yet. Like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what the link is? Is there like
it's Power Platform conf.com. Very easy.
Got
Power Platform conf.com. Yeah. So seeing people is the thing, and then all the awesome content that everybody's bringing to the table from Microsoft and from all of our community members as well. It's going to be great. There's also a fun MPPC's Got Power. We did that organically last year. I think I rented like a guitar and like a drum kit and everything, and we did that. So That will be one of the nights where people can, show off their talents, whatever they may be. So that's going to be a fun element. And the attendee party will be the first night. That's going to have, games and stuff. And I've been hearing, there's going to be entertainment. Don't know what that. Can't share that quite.
Entertainment.
Yes. So it's a little bit of a teaser.
That's so broad.
I know.
It's so exciting.
Yes, I know. Totally. You're like, hello. Could that be more vague? But yes.
Hello. Could be more vague. I will say though, Heather, and thank you for creating an opportunity for Ann and I to do a session at this conference. So, and it's kind of a last minute addition to the agenda, but I'm super pumped for it. We're doing a session that's better together, build or buy, right? Yeah. And so it's kind of that idea of like, should we, go build it just using Power Platform, or should we look at the Dynamics 365 portfolio as our starting point, our launching pad? And so I'm super excited for that. But I think there's so many sessions I'm excited about to watch, but even, be a part of.
The TLDR of our session is please don't build an ERP and Power Apps. Dear God.
Dear God. Please. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also amazing.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful tool.
Really random, but like it was like 3 months ago when I learned what TLDR meant.
That's it.
And so if you're watching and you don't know what TLDR is,
it's too long, didn't read. And then you give a summary of whatever it is. Yeah.
It's like the Cliff Notes version, but now you know.
I'm wordy.
You were like me.
Yeah. Are you wordy? Like I stream of consciousness a little bit back from like high school writing paper days. Like I remember my teacher, Mr. Ledbetter, was like, A- cut half, like I was like, okay, like that was awesome, but brevity,
Well,
so,
there's just some people who will never do anything but read the TLDR of the email, right?
True. Yeah. So, you need a lot of information sometimes on things, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think the thing I'm most excited about for MPPC is the business applications community user group meeting live on site. Like that is so exciting. For anybody, well, they should know. Everybody who comes to our show should know by now because I don't shut up about it. But Microsoft has user groups. There's lovely third-party programs out there as well. We've talked about our friends at Doug and DCI, but we also have our own in-house user groups, and those lovely folks are coordinating a meetup, a user group meeting for everybody and anybody who wants to come. And we're going to have a panel of different user group leaders in the community who are going to talk about why should you join it? What do you get out of it? How do you lead a group? And if you don't have one, how do you get started? So it's going to be really exciting. And I think that one is actually going to have a virtual component as well, so we can connect with the global community. So I'm super, super excited for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, Eric Archer and Ashley Phelps and Heather Hernandez, who all work on that team, are producing that experience for everybody. Yeah, it's exciting, and I know you're in the mix there too, Anne, which is great. Yeah, that's going to be super cool. It'll be one of the only things that actually leaves the building as far as being a virtual component. So pretty cool. Very excited about that too. How about Rachel? What's your most exciting thing besides your session? Ooh, wow. That was exciting.
That was very exciting.
A little earth, wind, and fire for you, telling me to eat my lunch and take a walk.
Wait, it is September, isn't it?
I mean,
is that why that's your
totally that?
Is that why your ringtone is that because it's September and that's the song title?
Maybe. Yes.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
All right, I'm gonna go in and turn that sucker off though right now. There we go. Sorry about that. But anyway, Rachel.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of women in tech stuff happening and diversity and inclusion stuff. And I've always been super passionate about these topics. And I've been pretty open about my own neurodiversity, but I do have another session that I'm doing with Eric as well. That's about neurodiversity in the workplace. So I think there's just a really cool lineup of just diversity inclusion topics as well. But the other one that I'm super excited about, right? Charles Lamanna will be there giving a keynote, which any opportunity that you can get to see Charles speak is always good. Oh, and also is it the CEO of GitHub?
Yeah, Thomas.
Is doing
Mhm.
Thomas. He's doing a keynote as well. So I'm kind of excited to see that because I've never actually had an opportunity to see him speak. So I,
and
I'm on the edge of my
opportunities to
seat,
meet,
like excited, like what's he gonna say?
Yeah.
and there'll be opportunities to meet some of our big execs in the Power Platform team at the community lounge
Yep.
that the wonderful community team at Microsoft is hosting. There'll be meet and greets with folks like Charles and other leaders in the Power Platform product. So that I think is also going to be a really cool thing to hit.
Yep. And be ready for the step and repeat.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to show up with our little like those like Secret Service get up and be security and.
I have this vision though, and I hope it happens at some point during the conference.
Yeah.
That like in the community lounge, like at some point somebody puts on some loud music that like we can all do a train to, like come on, ride that train. And we all just start like doing the train around the community lounge. How great would that be?
I think that's something that you could totally make happen.
I might make that happen. So if you're around in the community lounge, when it goes down,
Yeah.
You don't have to that I'm going to make it happen.
There's speakers in the community lounge theater. There will be. So that would be the place to actually rock that out with plugging in a Zoom.
You got to give a 15-minute warning for us introverts to scatter before this happens, please.
So we can go anywhere else but there.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be quiet rooms, right, as well for people who need a little quiet time.
I'm on like the accessibility committee or whatever subcommittee
or whatever.
I don't know what we're calling these, but helping organize the accessibility front. And we do have some quiet rooms organized, which I think is great because I love to meet people, even though I cannot remember a single person's name ever. But I love to meet people, but it gets very overwhelming. It's like the whole spoon theory thing. If you've ever read about spoon theory, it's like you're giving away spoons. It's like, and so going to the quiet room is like my opportunity to put my used spoons in the dishwasher and try to get a handful more spoons back.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's a really strange analogy if you have no idea what spoon theory is.
Yeah, all I remember is that spoon from The Matrix. But what I love about working, one of the things in my role is I'm working, as you know, I work with our community producers, both that, actually paid events, like the Power Platform Conference and, European Power Platform Conference, all the different ones, right? And then also folks who do free events with a hackathon or a Saturday or a boot camp or whatever. So the cool thing that I love when, we sponsor, as Microsoft, we sponsor an event like we are with the Power Platform Conference is that, we work with the event producers, right? And we talk to them about these things that are important to Microsoft and just important in general, and accessibility is one of them, right? So we're having those conversations with the event organizers and frankly, the MGM Grand Hotel that is putting on the show, right? So we're like, what are you doing? What are you doing for accessibility? What is your sustainability plans? All that kind of stuff. And there's things that one can influence, and there's things that that we can't. But there was a few items that were brought up in the accessibility work stream, about making sure that our presentations are accessible. So we're doing that training with the speakers next week, which is going to be cool. And we talked to them. Do you already have a quiet room planned? Do you have these things in your bailiwick already? Is that right word? Maybe. But so that was cool, having those conversations and hoping to steer and support those kinds of things as we work with event organizers who are putting on shows, and when we show up as speakers and sponsors and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that too. It's gonna be.
I feel like you're kind of like the community fairy godmother from Microsoft. You just come in and
the Mother Teresa of
I want to see. I like the full Cinderella moment. I don't know. I love it. I love what you do, Heather. I think it's so impactful to the community.
Thank you very much. I've had a wonderful, long, lucky career in doing this a long time with Microsoft and other companies. So thanks. I appreciate that. It makes me happy, gets me out of bed every morning, and maybe I'll find a Glinda the Good Witch costume for you at some place somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Yes, please do. See, I feel like you could turn that into something for the the Power event.
Oh, for the Tower Show?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Magic show, fairy
Yeah.
drama. There's a spin. I'll think of it. We'll come back to that.
You know,
I-
go ahead.
I've been contemplating bringing my flag to the talent show, like my color guard flag.
Yes,
Wow.
please. Oh my goodness, yes.
Just do
Yes,
something
yes.
different. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the talent, obviously, like amazing. Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is also that like this is super casual too, y'all. It's like everybody is invited to participate. It's I think this is going to be super fun. And literally last year, it was like they were like, "Can we do this? Can I have a credit card?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay,"
Can I have
like,
a credit card?
well, it was
Because you got to pay for things, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
and I was just like, and I did not give anybody my credit card. I did the renting, but still, but that so like it's stuff like that that's fun. I love that organic things that happen too, right? Like when you're at an event, and like a lot of folks have some sort of event app, right, when they do their events. And so like this, like Power Platform Conference does, and I know like European Collaboration Summit, they have their own app that they've built, like, so people do that. And what's cool is that people can go in and be like, "Hi, I'm a runner, anybody want to run?" And they create a little group, or "Hey, I'm from Boston," or whatever it is. It's like that organic nature of community is so exciting to watch. Like that, like when the app turns on, it literally is like like it's almost as fast as ChatGPT. Okay, like it's just like whoop, you're just like, holy bananas. Like well, who's going to create something next to gather people together who are like-minded and passionate about something? It's really, I love that too. And so we're a couple of weeks off from that, but it's coming soon, so it's kind of neat.
That's exciting.
Yeah, super good.
You mentioned another one, the one in Chicago. What did you call that one that's coming up?
Oh, 365 Educon.
Educon.
Yeah,
we did that one.
Yeah, we just had 365 Educon / Power Educon in Seattle. So David Wilhelm is the event producer there, and that used to be called SP Fest, SharePoint Fest. They did a rename. Yeah, they did a rename.
Like M365, not D365.
Yeah, yeah.
All the
It's M365 for the most part, and then they added the Power Educon component last year for the first time, and so this was the second iteration. And so it was in Seattle. Steven Siciliano, VP of Power Automate, came to give a keynote. Adam Harmnitz from VP of SharePoint Experiences gave another keynote. Nirav Shah from our team, VP of Dataverse, came as well, and a bunch of folks from the product team. And so, yeah, and they're great events. David does, Seattle is usually on the docket, Chicago. This year it was DC. Sometimes it's Dallas. So he does 3 kind of regional local events that are about 365 and Power Platform and Azure and everything else, so it's pretty, bring back Convergence.
Yeah, I gotta say, if there's one request I hear more than anything else from the community,
yeah, I know. You'll play Yogurt. I like your Yogurt 228. That's fun. Yeah, I worked on Convergence a long time ago. I think I've worked on most shows, like all the old ones, like Tech Ed and WPC, and when they were, yeah. I mean, I've been doing this, y'all, at Microsoft since 2001.
Yeah,
crazy. A good moisturizer.
You don't look a day over 13. I never know what age you should use for that. I don't feel like you should use an age for that, so I just go for the ridiculous.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's all right. I had an Atari. It's all good. So yeah.
I had an Atari too.
The original.
I feel like that has something to do with video games, right?
Yeah.
That has something to do with video games.
It does, right?
Yes.
You are not wrong.
An original console.
Did you have Duck Hunt?
Oh, wow. You're going.
Yeah, actually, my dad had that.
Yeah, for sure.
That was so
good.
I mean, we have really digressed.
Yeah. Anyway, but David Wilhelm puts on 3 great shows, and there's and tons of event producers who are these we call them technical skilling events because they're community produced technical skilling events. There's great ones in Europe too that Sarah and Kevin put on, and that Addison Spencer put on. There's the Nordic Summit, South Coast Summit, Scottish Summit, like all these wonderful events. And I have the beautiful, privilege to work with so many of these folks to try and figure things out with them and how we support them and all of that sort of thing. So I do have a event producers meetup that I do that I can put some information out about in your show notes as well. If folks
Yeah.
are out there producing events and want to join that, it's once a month, and I host that and talk to event producers about what programs we have, and also doing a lot of listening about, like, do you like this? Do you like that? What do you need? What are you looking for? What's going on in the world of event production and all of that too. So happy to have folks join that coming up soon as well.
I think a lot of people say they want Convergence back, but I think, right, we made the BizApp Summit, which is usually like in the spring.
And that's,
It was kind of like our way to kind of bring it back, but in a new, different, reimagined way. I'd be curious, like, Yogurt to You 28, like, what was it about Convergence that you feel like you're not getting from the conferences and events that we have right now, like, more specifically? Because we're probably not going to name a conference Convergence ever again, but what specifically do you feel like you're missing that you used to get at Convergence that you can't get at BizApp Summit or Ignite or Inspire or fill in the blanks XYZ conference?
Yeah.
Because that's actually something that might be more actionable for us. So we love the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Microsoft Business Applications Summit, MBAS, it hasn't happened in a bit. And I don't know whether or not it's on the horizon again or not. Ignite, Build, Envision, those are all, some of the Ability Summit, all of those are what we call first party events or flagship events that are, produced by Microsoft. Meaning we as a company produce them. What we've been talking about are community produced, meaning produced by a party that is not Microsoft, where we sponsor and all of that. So, just to be clear, worldwide reach of customers, business platforms. Okay. Yeah. As far as the technical skilling, the technical skilling side of events too, I think that, I would say that with Ignite and Build and others, like, those definitely have a lot of announcements. They have a lot of vision. They have a lot of roadmap. They typically have 100, 200 level, maybe dipping into 300 level. And I think a lot of folks with the technical skilling events and community, that's where you're getting, sometimes you get a little bit more of like the 300 level, sometimes a 400, but you're getting that sort of more middle ground where there's some for new folks, but then you're really sitting in that 200 to 300 sweet spot of getting the skills that you're looking for a particular product. So I think that's sometimes that I've heard from people that's the feedback of the difference between like a Microsoft produced show and then a community produced show. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think like Ignite, it's been a few years since they've brought Dynamics 365 into the Ignite conference, but we still, I mean, from my perspective, Dynamics doesn't have a very big seat at the table at Ignite. It's still very much Azure and Microsoft 365 focused, as opposed to the biz apps.
Yeah, I remember looking at the Build, because Build is a lot more technical, right?
Developer audience.
And I think I remember looking at that list of sessions and going, a lot of this probably isn't applicable to a Dynamics audience, which, I mean, it's right. Everything changes all the time, but maybe it's an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the Dynamics focus shows, you have the directions, North America, EMEA, you've got Dynamics Con Live, Community Summit has a Dynamics focus. But I feel like, there are only so many slots and stuff, right? And
well, I think that's where you, Heather, have been helping lead Microsoft back to community. I think we all know that that's feedback we've heard, is that if there is third-party events do fill a lot of these gaps, but we as Microsoft since COVID haven't always been present there in the way that the community would like to see us. And I think that is something you and your team have heard and want to do something about, if I'm hopefully not speaking too much for you.
No, and it's okay that you are. I think that's definitely true. I think COVID, affected every person, right? And we're still figuring things out from that. I think it's, we're in the post I don't know if it's post because you get flare-ups here and there, but anyway, but like the main piece of it, I feel like everything switched to virtual, right? And that was the big move. And then I think that shined a spotlight a bit on community platforms and tools and things, right? Because it was like the only way we could get together was like this on Teams and other ways, right? And also trying to get to each other wasn't as easy, and we were a bit disconnected. So I think the push around community has definitely been because of that too. It's like, could we please try and stay connected? And also, like people lost their jobs, the whole events industry changed, production changed, people in service jobs changed, like all kinds of things happen, right? So I do feel the collected effort inside of Microsoft. I started back as an FTE 3 years ago. And so I've been a community member for a long time, kind of with my fist in the air about all kinds of things. But I feel like we started the Microsoft Community Council internally, and that was a really big thing. I think a bunch of us talking, and frankly, selfishly, I was like, who's doing this inside of Microsoft and what are you doing, And I knew a lot of the players already, but it was cool to come together with people. And now we meet, as you know, once a month. You're part of it. We have like close to 500 members. We talk about we have subcommittees about metrics and ROI and engagement and amplification and what tools we use, and how can we actually use Microsoft products to solve some of these business problems. Like running a community team inside of Microsoft is running a business, in a way. It's like the business of community. And you're like, well, that's not a business. And no, it is, but it isn't. But we are making choices about, where we show up and how we show up, and trying to listen about what people want. And I do think that there has been a really nice, I guess, swim lane into looking at, how do we, go to local communities who also don't have anything. And that's why the user groups are so great, right? Is that local communities can get together and have a user group on something. And then maybe they decide to have, a Dynamics 365 Saturday, community days, right? Communitydays.org is now something that came out of all of this as well. The SharePoint Saturday site closed down. That nonprofit closed down during COVID. And Tom Daly, who's an MVP out of the New Jersey, New York area, was like, we got to do something about this. So he went and created a site, and we found out about it. And we're like, whoa, what are you doing? Awesome. And we're like, hey, let's put that on Microsoft infrastructure. How about that? You community runs the site, community deals with that, but let's put it on the infrastructure. It was a great, marriage of like, hey, this is something that is community led and run, but Microsoft can support it, right? And so now it's a one-stop shop, hopefully, for anybody doing any sort of events in the Microsoft community to put your event up there, to run your call for content. Collab Days. That's a great organization in Europe who's doing the same thing. They put their stuff on that site. Experts Live, they're putting stuff on. We have all of these. There's enough community and enough pie for everybody, in my humble opinion, right? To do good things locally, regionally, and with each other. And with a little bit of, kind of best practicing together and sharing stuff, then we don't have to recreate the wheel over and over, right? So that's what those like connecting the dots are, and that's my weird brain, that I'm a connector at heart. So I'm like,
I would say it's beautiful.
Yeah, I would say you're like an enabler. Like you are really focusing your time on building these tools and structures that people can use to build community at scale, which is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got a lot of help and a lot of great partners across the company and inside of our own division who do that alongside you two, or both of those are in that group too. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, and I just have to say, 28, thank you again for your comment. I don't know if you saw it or not, Heather, but Ann and Rachel have been working on a business process dictionary. Imagine a conference where all those topics could be talked about hand in hand with Dynamics 365 solution to it. And I heart this, right? We're doing so much work around being business process oriented right now. Yep. And I think it's great. I think that's a great next step for us to start thinking about how can we bring a business process centric focus to some of the events, and creating a track or some sessions around that is fantastic. Just to share, we are planning to do some tech talks on the topic, specific to each of the end-to-ends, but I think an opportunity to connect community around those things. And I think even for me, my vision is way bigger than just Dynamics 365, because Microsoft we offer so many products beyond just Dynamics 365. Everything we offer supports businesses minus Xbox. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that supports some businesses, but but I think the idea that everything that we offer in our Azure suite and the Power Platform and the Microsoft 365 suite, a lot of what we're offering there is to support businesses in their day-to-day operations. And if we think about how we map our features and functionalities and products to those business processes, we can start to blur those lines between products, and that better together story just gets better and better. Sorry for the overworst of the used word better, but it's just better.
Better and better together. Hashtag better together.
Better with Heather? Yes, I agree.
Oh, I said better together. You were hilarious. I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Heather, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and thanks everybody who tuned in today.
Yeah, awesome. We'll see you next time on Top of Mind.
Yay! Thanks, everybody. Take care. See you in the community.